And I'm back.
So, yeah, so we're going to have another TVZ here. I shot you up an invite. We're going to stay on NA server on US East. Spam this haunted to shout for daunted. Nice! See, Yakuzaku, this is how you rhyme a copy pasta. Let's make sure everyone's ready. And this is our first semi-final of today. We're going to cast the other semi-final a little later. Alright, everyone's ready. Good luck, have fun. Let's get right into it. We got the right server, at least there's that.
No, you can tell before we actually hop into the game. You'll have to tell me about that one later. Welcome to Lost and Found LE. LE stands for Luminescent Embers, the things that are left behind when a fire is just dying down.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And speaking of beautiful, in the southwest corner of the map, representing Psionic Aftermath, is our pink Terran, Daunted.
And in the top right, representing themselves, it would seem, representing the, I believe, the Godsire card from Magic the Gathering. Looking at that. No, it's something else. I can't see exactly which card it is. It is Darkwatch. The green Zerg.
I think it's a Dehaka thing, maybe?
Oh, yes, that actually does look like what it is. It looked a lot like a certain Magic the Gathering card, but I think it is, yeah, one of those Primal Zerg.
These games have so much stuff. Like
they really do.
And card games and stuff. Everything just looks the same, especially with Blizzard.
Well, Magic the Gathering isn't a Blizzard game. So.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, they have like that not Magic the Gathering game that they have. What's its name?
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, that's the one. I was about to say Hearthwatch. I swear. And I was like, that doesn't sound right.
What's your favorite game? Steelmold? Is it Hearthwatch or Overstone?
Neither. I haven't played either of them, so I have no idea. I'm not. They're not my style of game at all.
Only StarCraft, huh?
No, I don't actually play StarCraft either. Other than
you don't play StarCraft.
Occasionally, I do. Just sometimes I feel like it, and then I play a couple of ladder games, and then I'm like, all right, that's out of my system. Thank you.
What do you play?
I play old-timey RPGs and stuff. Turn-based tactics, kind of nonsense.
Oh, cool.
That's my stuff. Yeah. RTS.
I really like the Fire Emblem games. Those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I haven't played those either.
So which ones have you been playing? Like, be specific.
This
is an early TVZ. We got time to fill.
Well, Fallout is the go-to answer there.
Which Fallout?
The old one.
Drone almost goes down, but not quite. So the original Fallout?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, there you go. I got a friend who's really into that. Ooh, a drone does go down because that queen's not attacking the right target, but this Reaper I think will go down. Yes, it will, but it does get a decent scout.
A couple of Zerglings and a Walker. That's pretty damn good.
We do have pneumatic carapace on the way for Darkwatch, so Darkwatch really wants that early scouting information and is willing to sacrifice quite a bit of early gas to get it. That's a pretty solid style to do, especially on ladder, so that you can make sure you see everything, so that even if you lose, you get a lot of information. For which to improve next time.
By the way, if you open up the Control Alt F, the frame, the information about the server thing, when you start the game, it shows up for a couple of seconds in the top left corner.
I just normally start it when the game starts and then turn it back off once I've confirmed I'm on the right server.
Yeah, but if you start it when you're in the menus, when you switch to the game, it shows up for like a couple of seconds. So you need to watch for it.
So we are seeing the fast tank and the marine tank style that Daunted did apply to very strong effect against Quirky. We'll see if Darkwatch is up to the challenge. Already Darkwatch's macro seems to be a lot better, keeping up with the Terran in workers, which is kind of what you want early game until you get to about that 38 to 44 time where Zerg really starts to explode into that 50 to 60 drone economy.
And Daunted has already got a bunker full up. He's walling off the natural. He's being prepared to the boss that Darkwatch only now started setting up with the Bailing Nest.
Yeah, and in the meantime, see a very fast double Evo coming out of Darkwatch, a bit faster than you normally would on a Bailing Nest, so getting a lot of tech, sacrificing a bit of economy to do that. Is getting more drones, but Daunted is actually taking the economic lead. Daunted just seems to have his macros really on point with this build. I guess there's a reason why he just does the same build over and over again, because it works very well and he's got it very well refined.
Yeah, and look at that. He's patrolling in case of drops here. He's got the bunker set up, the safety tank, everything is set up perfectly.
Seems like Daunted feels very confident in the mid to late game of TVZ and just wants to make sure that nothing catches him off guard.
Yeah.
And nothing will, because there is nothing coming. +1 melee on the way. Scan goes down, sees the spine, sees the 2 Evo, sees one of them moving, the other one not, if he's paying super close attention. Does see the lair. But right now, it just seems that Darkwatch doesn't quite have enough gas for all of the upgrades he wants to make all at once. Wants Carapace, wants Baneling speed, but appears to have done things just slightly out of order.
Goes the Hydralisk then. So yeah, Darkwatch, he's got the Banelings, he's not preparing a bust, he's just staying at home. He's going to go Link Bane Hydra with Baneling speed.
Always a solid move.
And +1, it does get +1 melee, which is going to set the Hydralisks a little back later on.
That's actually a pretty standard way of playing.
Yeah, but
ZVT. You get the melee upgrades for the Ultras and the Lings and the Banes, and the Hydras do just fine just attacking the air and getting a bit of damage done. I think you might want like +1 ranged later on, but it's not super important to have those ranged upgrades compared to the melee.
Fair enough.
Really, the Banes do most of the damage. The Hydras are mainly there for support and to kill air units, and the Lings are basically there mostly to tank.
And speaking of air units, these 2 medivacs are just about to go in drop. They do avoid the overload position there, so Darkwatch does not see this coming. There's a bit of creep spread, so we'll sit as it arrives next to the 3rd base, but yeah, that's not a lot of alarm. He's getting a spine.
Daun's starting to get a nice supply lead, but I think with this Ling Bane, he will have enough to fend it off. Daunted not even going to try and do the Maru style snipe the Banelings thing. He's just going to back off. Got his armory, so he'll have 2-2 on the way pretty shortly after 1-1 finishes. 1-1 is +1 melee already done for Darkwatch, but I think the 2-2 is going to be behind. Hydra's on the way. So Daunet's going to try and get some damage done, but not really going to get much. Oh, does decide to come into the main. I think he's going to get a huge amount of damage done.
Yeah, there's a spine.
But does try dropping. He's going to take out this spine crawler, but that's kind of what spine crawlers are for. And he's going to try taking out some drones or perhaps a queen. And it doesn't really get many targets, but loses quite a lot of marines. So that's an excellent defense by Darkwatch. Darkwatch in a great position. 3 marines going to get dropped down here. Maybe nope. If they were both fully, might have been able to deny that hatchery, but they're not full, so we can't. 4th base is on the way, and Darkwatch catches up in supply. So Darkwatch already doing a lot better than Quirky did. We might see a full-on mid to late game TVZ as both people clash.
I think Daunted, if you focus fire at the drones, he could have gotten so many of them, but there was always that spine, and then came the Zerglings, and it kept moving them on A move, and they just prioritize the military units, and then you just don't get the drone kills. Could have gotten like 6-7
you've got to focus fire carefully with those. If you Terran is a race with a hell of a lot of micro potential. You really need to micro very well. There's a reason I'm really bad at Terran. I play it.
In order to get the best of Terran units, you really have to babysit them.
Oh yeah, definitely true.
No, True doesn't play Terran. He plays Zerg.
Yeah, I am a Protoss player myself.
Alright, so here comes
and all these
Link Bane Hydra on the low ground against tanks. It's gonna be, Darkwatch wisely backs away from this fight.
Yeah, you cannot fight those 4 tanks without a good surround, without fighting on creep, without at least one of those things. So we'll have to see how Darkwatch wants to react. Making a bunch of Banelings, probably going to want to split up these units a little bit to try and come in from 2 different sides. We will see if these tanks are in good positions, then simply attacking from one side is very unlikely to work. We do see a flank. Darkwatch is building one up.
What are you doing? We saw that, Daunted.
Just want to... Daunted wants... Oh, and these Banelings... No, they actually almost got some really good connections, but Darkwatch backed away just in time. He's going to try for this flank. Flank is only sort of successful, but the tanks are moving forward. The tanks do siege up, and Darkwatch is in a bit of hurt right now. But we'll see. The Banelings are sort of stuck behind the Hydralisks, and here comes some Banelings in for a flank. But the tanks are likely to kill them. They do disappear under the tanks, but in the end, there's just too much for Darkwatch. Darkwatch moving forward with these Hydras, but the Hydras are unprotected. But in the end, it doesn't matter. There's not enough units left to punish that, and Darkwatch keeps most of these valuable Hydralisks alive.
Yeah, and it kicks Daunted away with only 4 Marines alive in those medivacs. Now he does have another army already prepared, which is the prerogative of Terran. Yeah.
In order to get all these units out, Darkwatch did not get +2 Carapace, so Darkwatch it's going to be 2-2 against 2-1 right now. But Darkwatch is attacking with a whole bunch of Hydras, but oh, look at all those Marines. No, that's not a good idea. Those Hydras are going to double. No, here come the Lings. The Lings are the tanks, remember.
What? Give them back into the that choke over there, and yeah, that
Darkwatch wisely backs away from this. He's just making more Lings and Hydras. He's getting a hive.
Does manage to kill 7 workers here, and maybe even a missile turret. No, it gets repaired.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And also another important thing, it stopped Daunted's expansion here with all this production buildings going down. He really has to restart them. I don't know how many years. It was 2 barracks they died here.
Dauned's going into heavy tank play against this Hydraling Bane, which I think is a pretty decent move, except for the fact that the hive is almost finished. So I think we're going to see some hive tech pretty soon. The question is, what are we going to see? I think we're just going to see Ultralisks, because otherwise we would have had a Spire. Generally, if you want to go into Broodlords, you build the Spire and the hive at the same time. We might see +3 melee coming out from Darkwatch.
You called it. There's the Ultralisk then going down.
And +3 melee on the way, actually before 3-3 starts for Daunted. So that's really good for Darkwatch.
One thing that does worry me for Darkwatch is creep spread is okay-ish. It's actually, at this point in the game, it really needs to be way farther, considering
creep spread is very good on the south side of the map, but it's very bad on the north side of the map. So Daunted attacks in the right places.
Wasn't all that active in terms of cleaning creep? Because this Ultralisk, you really want the creep spread to send them just way in there.
That upgrade, that buff hasn't happened yet. The Ultralisks are no longer faster off creep. That is a change that's going to be made in the new patch, but the new patch is not coming out for a while, and Daunted is set up, does have a supply lead, but these Ultras, 4 more Ultras on the way, so unless Daunted goes now, I don't think this is going to work, and Daunted backs away. Look at that, it's just entirely Marine tank medivac. This army will just be melted by Ultras on creep. It will not even be close. It will not be funny.
Supply is actually medivacs. You've got 13 medivacs.
Oh yeah, that's actually probably a couple more than you want. You probably want about 8 to 10 medivacs, I'd say, in a maxed out army.
Look, I'm a Terran. I just click things and they come out after a while. I don't.
If 4 or 5 of these medivacs were Liberators, I'd say we'd be in a much better position. But it seems that Daunted, with making more tanks and stuff, just isn't really prepared for this Ultralisk transition.
Yeah.
And there's going to be so many Ultras too. There's like 7 on the way, 4 done, 3 more.
I mean, if it encounters them before chitinous plating is finished, maybe, but
yeah, that's true. Chitinous plating, huge power spike.
Because chitinous plating is.
Look at all these upgrades for Darkwatch. Oh, actually, an Ultralisk does get killed, but here come the other ones. Ultra's actually, good blinding cloud, but the Hydralisks need to move in forward. They're not getting enough firepower. Those Ultralisks are stuck behind the Hydralisks. Beautiful engagement from Daunted. Look at that! And all of these Hydralisks are going to go down, and Daunted may have just broken through. These Ultralisks did not do the damage they needed to. They say that you need to babysit Terran, but there's still some micro you do need to do as Zerg. You need to make sure all your units are actively in the fight.
No, you
need
and
engagements.
You need chitinous plating is what you need. Otherwise,
it would have helped. If those Ultralisks had been attacking, I'd say the fight would have gone very differently.
Yeah, it's that was a rough one for Darkwatch, no doubt. And look at that, he's out of bank, which is not where you want to be
still alive.
As a Zerg.
Yeah, but Daunted is only a few supply ahead. And Daunted doesn't really have much of a tank either. And look at that surround.
Zerglings, so that's going to be a cleanup for this army. The medivacs will have to pick up and run away from here.
Yeah, they have to run. There are 4 Marauders at a time on the way, but I think that Daunted really wants like Liberators and Ghosts and such at this stage. I'd say he wants Liberators. That's what I'd like to see him get, especially because these medivacs just aren't really dying, and he is going to take out this last Ultralisk. Darkwatch is pushing forward. Is he going to do it? No, good micro from Daunted. Donut's pushing forward. It's so close, but 2 more Ultralisks coming into the fight. Can he do it? He forces Donut to back away. Those Ultralisks so devastating, and this base is going to go down. These Hydralisks and Ultralisks murdering all of these SCVs. I think Darkwatch might have the advantage. He might have snatched it. He's going to take out these Ultralisks, but the army is so low. He's going to force a retreat, but Donut, the damage has been done, and Donut is on the back foot all of a sudden.
Actually, I don't think so as much, because Dota still has the bigger army. He still has the bigger bank. He still has all of his production.
The banks aren't that large, and this is all biotank. He doesn't have the
income.
Ultra. That's true.
He's 42 to 70 workers, and Donut has the better income.
It's far from over, but I think that Donut is just not getting the ultra tech he needs. He's got Marauders, which is good, but I think he needs more than that. Though the Aspire is on the way, and +3 Carapace, so it looks like we're going to see a Broodlord transition eventually. The question is, can Donut beat these Ultralisks with just Biotank?
It's gonna be rough. You have to kite them all the way, and eventually the one
good blinding cloud. That tank will get smashed down. The Ultralisks just refusing to die. The Link's protecting them, but they do back away off the creep, and Donut is actually somehow managing to do it. Like you said, he does have the bigger army. If this Ultralisk goes down, that would be really terrible. And he is fighting, he's moving forward. The Ultralisk is going to go down. The Hydralisk has nothing left. I think Darkwatch might have just failed this game. Donut might just be able to push through, and he does. He breaks all of this. Wow, Donut, his micro is just really good. I did not think he was going to break through those Ultralisks, but it seems that he has. The Zerglings coming in, but there's nothing they can do against the cloud of Medivacs raining down, healing from the skies. This base is going to go down, and with it, I think Darkwatch's hopes. The Aspire is still so far away. Do you know how long it takes a Great Aspire? I've timed it. It takes about 17 minutes to build, and that's just not going to be the time that Darkwatch has. That 68 seconds for a Great Aspire to build is the longest 68 seconds of a Zerg's life, and Donut is not going to give him that time.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And Donut, with just Marauders and tanks, manages to take the game. Marauders are a lot better since the patch that was not that long ago, a few months ago, and Donut showing it to brilliant effect here, but a great game by both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I think Darkwatch, like you said, he was in a bit of an advantage, but I think he engaged with the Ultralisks too early. You cannot engage a Terran with Ultralisks unless you have chitinous plating. It just doesn't work without it. The Ultralisks,
if he had chitinous plating and all of his Ultralisks had been in the fight, I'd say he would have won that pretty handily.
And eventually, you've just run out of resources. All right, Darkwatch is waiting. He's asking for a couple of minutes.
2 minutes.
So, yeah, we'll give him that. Massage your marines, lift your ligaments. That's Daunted giving us suggestions for euphemisms, we should call them.
Well, ligaments isn't a Terran thing.
Yeah, no, lift your...
But massage your marines works.
Massage your marines. I said marinate your marines might be a little more...
yeah, that's true.
But what is that euphemism for, though? That's the question. Because hydrate your hydras is euphemism for, drinking water. Stretch your roaches is for, stretching your arms and stuff. Well,
that's massage your marines, as in, foam rolling, massage therapy, getting the kinks out of your muscles. That's why I said massage your marines was good.
Oh.
We just don't really marinate much.
Yeah, but it works more as an alliteration.
Well, what do you want? Do you want the alliteration or do you want the exercise thing?
I want both. They both have to work. Otherwise...
You're so picky, Steelmold.
Yeah. This is Gold League casting. We'll maybe crap at production, but we're good on the puns and the memes.
So stretch your roaches works, but massage your marines doesn't. That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
it's okay to be one letter off. It's not okay to be one letter off, but you can just have a totally different word that kind of sounds like roaches.
Stretch your roaches as the rhyming of the roach, the R, the ch, so that, and the S, so stretch your roaches. Yeah, it's not like it's a like a. You start with an S, and then there's an R and a ch, and then another R and then another ch, and then an S at the ending. So that's the kind of weird alliteration. It's not. It's definitely not a standard, but it works. And Hydra to Hydras is a classic. It's the one that started it all, so you know, gotta give that a shout out. I have also drain your disruptors. That's when you will go to the bathroom, because you gotta drain your disruptor. And yeah, marinate your marines doesn't really work unless you're making chicken and you want to marinate it. I don't know. Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how this whole thing works, and I'm still not quite sure. Seems like it's a pretty arbitrary, really. We should write down the rules.
Here, look. Here in the CranKy Ducklings, we don't want to be like overly dramatic with rules and stuff, because you know leagues can sometimes be a little overbearing in that respect. And
I'm not talking about rules about the league. I'm talking about rules about how this whole hydrate your hydras, marinate your marines thing. That's what I want to know, because every single one you've told me has a different reason for being one you like.
Yeah. It's memes. There are no rules. If it works, it works.
I've never really understood memes.
Well,
I feel old, and I'm only 26.
Well, if I can figure out, I'm 36 next month. Actually, in exactly a month.
You're too old for memes, dang it, Steelmold.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it to the kids with their Fortnites and their Nintendo Switches.
Alright, so Darkwatch is back. Alright.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Darkwatch wants to play. If Darkwatch wants to go for the Hydra Ling Bane again. I think with a couple of small changes, Darkwatch could have won that game. So,
yeah, again, I think that engagement with the Ultralisks at the beginning was very detrimental. You need to buy a little more time to just get them by surprise and just smash them. Get that
StarCraft is a game of those small decisions that change everything.
Yeah. Because in that fight, he did get the tanks. He did get with the Hydralisk and everything. He was in a decent position, but again, the Ultralisk just couldn't get to the bio. They died too fast.
Welcome to Parasite LE, where LE stands for Legalized Extravagance, aka the entire reason you go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that makes sense. And speaking of legalized extravagance, in the northwest corner of the map, our green Zerg is Darkwatch.
And in the bottom right, apparently part of some club I haven't been told of in PsyX made up of the cool kids. You playing as Pink, it is the Pink Terran, it is Daunted. It's just me with a lot of the PsyX players been playing as Pink. No one ever told me I was supposed to do this.
You'd usually play blue, right? Blue or green?
I normally just play whatever, unless the colors are very similar, like red and orange, and then I just change. Blue is my favorite color, but I'm not really fussed at what color I play. I just want to make it easier for the casters.
Yeah, but it is something to the PsyX thing. There are certain players who will always take pink for some reason. Maybe there's.
I feel it's some kind of clique that I'm not part of, and I don't like it.
The pink clique. The pink clique.
I have questions, many questions. But we have an SCV coming across the map in the meantime, so these harsh questions will have to wait. Dawned is making a Reaper, but everything looks pretty standard from our Zerg player right now.
Yeah.
Tries to go for the attack with the drones, does not succeed. Now it's funny that you see that all the time in Diamond, but you actually very rarely see it in Master, which means that when I face off against someone who's lower ranked than me, and they try that, I usually lose my probe to it, because I'm not seeing it coming. Because at Masters, everyone sort of just expects you're good enough to stop it, and they I'll show you that courtesy, and they don't realize that, I'm really not as good as my rank might indicate at certain things. I basically just make the right things at the right times.
You're gonna win against me? In a small, meaningless gesture.
Oh, it's certainly not meaningless if you lose that initial probe. You gotta send out another one, you gotta get that follow-up scout. Losing that probe, it's the worst feeling.
You get an adept there anyway, at some point. It's not like
but
you're gonna be completely
you really
blind.
need against early all-ins. You really need to have that probe scout. We do see another very fast pneumatic carapace coming out of Darkwatch. In fact, did Darkwatch even get Ling speed? No.
No.
He's going straight for that carapace. I've never seen that before. Speed before carapace. No, carapace before speed. Because normally the overlord speed that you get, it's because you want to play carefully and you want to be safe against everything, which means you always get speed. So normally the people who skip speed are not the same people who get overlord speed. They usually want something else for that.
Yeah, I'm also not really getting a read on what that's going to do. I mean, the overlord's going to scout a little better, but what are you going to do with that scout if your zerglings are slow and can't really do anything?
It's a solid move to make that overlord speed if you want to make sure you know what's going on, but if that's the case, you don't really want to cut other corners like your speed.
Maybe he's counting on the fact that Daunted is going to go 2-on-1 again, and it will just give Darkwatch time, so it doesn't really...
Maybe. But that's not what's happening. We do see 2 Hellions on the way. Daunted is going for a more Hellion-focused opener, getting a pretty fast engineering bay, and we do have a Roach Warren for Darkwatch at a relatively standard time, as well as the third base. So it looks like Darkwatch is going into a pretty standard game, and so is Daunted, just in a slightly different way than before, getting that pretty fast third CC, but Darkwatch does see that, so presumably Darkwatch can play pretty greedy as a result.
And one advantage of having the Overlord speed is that they can bugger off when they're getting shot at by Marines.
True.
So at least you don't lose that supply thing.
And it basically means you can see everything that's going on in the early mid game if you are active with your Overlords, if you've got that Overlord speed.
Yeah.
Nothing will evade your grasp.
And also, there's also the added bonus of possibly going Drop-a-Lord and doing all kinds of shenanigans that people aren't really used to.
Stimpack is starting. 4 Hellions are on the way to see what they can get done. They will go to the third, and they will not see any drones there just yet. And I don't think they're going to get anything done against this pack of Speedlings and 2 Queens.
Where's Mr. Reaper? Did Mr. Reaper die? Oh, he died. I missed that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I saw that and I completely forgot, because that's how my brain
No, I would have remembered.
Alright, ooh, there's many you're gonna drop it into the main.
Yeah, gonna do the Hellion drop, it looks like.
Roaches?
And these roaches, they're not fast.
Bye-bye.
They're not fast at all.
Yeah.
So this Hellion drop will go down behind the minerals. There'll be nothing but these Lings to defend against for a little bit. It looks like, in the end, the roaches will get there in time, so it looks like this actually won't get much done.
He doesn't lose them.
But takes a lot of damage on those Hellions, doesn't get much done, so...
Well,
and the Medivac will start to take some shots.
He does see what Darkwatch is planning. He sees the roaches. He gives the roaches here, rather than marching across the map.
But I think Darkwatch is fine with that. He definitely does seem to have built this as an anti-2-1-1 measure. This is the exact kind of build that stops a 2-1-1 pretty easily, so it looks like Darkwatch knows what Daunted normally does. But now Daunted has the 3 CCs. He's ahead in workers, which again is not where you want to be as a Zerg. Again, he never really seems to do much to the enemy in the early game, but he always just seems to be ahead in workers somehow. He just has a really good macro.
Yeah.
At least in the early mid game for his level.
He learns to make SCVs and not stop making them. And also
it's a very
get 3 bases and saturate your get a third and saturate your main and natural. And then
people may laugh, but these are very important skills, and they're ones that a lot of Diamond players are still working on. And if you have that skill and your opponent doesn't, you can get really far ahead without even really doing much. It's just you just passively get further and further ahead the longer the game goes. You create problems for your opponents without even doing a whole ton. And now we're going to see a few Ravages.
Yeah, Darkwatch is about to march in. Roachbeat is almost finished. He's getting his Ravages. And that wall is going to be a little under siege.
There's only Marines, a couple of Marauders. Oh no, there is one tank, but it doesn't seem to be. It's going to be late.
Oh, he's going to catch the walker transfer.
Oh no, that's really strong for Darkwatch, getting some serious damage in already. Only one Roach goes down, the bunker goes down, and this is a lot of units for Darkwatch and not many for Daunted. Daunted needs to pull SCVs. Daunted has a massive supply lead, but that lead in workers is just dropping and dropping away, and there aren't... Oh, Corrosive Bile gets that Medivac. I think that Daunted is going to hold this barely. Actually, no, it doesn't even look like he will. It looks like Darkwatch is just pushing right on through and is going to get some serious damage. Daunted may live through this, but I don't think he's going to live through the follow-up. 10 more roaches on the way.
Yeah, and
if he doesn't GG now.
But he has safety tanks here, so we can definitely clean this
that's
up.
True.
But
so he will fend this off, but he's lost.
Oh,
actually, those
30 works.
Gets two tanks. The tanks are not spread, and all of this is going to die. And I'd say this will be GG.
Yeah.
If not now, then in a couple of minutes. That's just so many workers lost. 100 supply to 40.
36 the one dead. Bile shot after the Ravager dies. He gets and that one past the
I think these roaches
dunk. Yeah,
this set of roaches across the map is going to end this game. 60 army supply to 8. That's not a pretty picture.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it. And that's it.
There they come.
Darkwatch will tie up this series to bring it 1-1 in the semi-finals. The winner of the next game will go on to the finals.
And a few more workers are gonna die here. Donut is trying to make some Marines. He's making them 10 at a time. But
but even 10 Marines
without any backup, any medivacs, this is not going to really.
So he's not making 10 Marines at a time. He's making 10 Marines. He doesn't have enough money to make more Marines.
He had enough to make 10 Marines at a time for one time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not as effective as continuous spray of
That's
Marines.
because he didn't get the StarCraft 2 pension scheme for his Marines. They're not like, I don't want to work under these conditions.
And one base for Dawned. Darkwatch has a massive supply lead. Darkwatch may not want to push up the ramp right now, but he doesn't have to. He can just stop Dawned from ever taking another base. Dawned's trying to take these ninja expands, but it's just not going to work.
It's just being a cheeky ladder turn. I'm just gonna float my bases everywhere.
Darkwatch is looking for this, is expecting this move.
Yeah,
and indeed, right, the move is coming. But I look at those poor Marines. They're just like, man, I really hope we have a good life insurance policy, guys.
How did I get this chicken shit outfit?
I really should ask for more hazard pay. GG is cold, and Darkwatch will take this game. Moving on to game number 3. Your life expectancy of a Marine in active duty is about 4 minutes. It's not a good job.
The life expectancy of a Marine is shorter than the sentence life expectancy of a Marine.
Well, if they have medivacs with them, they can live for about 4 to 5 seconds in a barrel, maybe. If you speak fast enough.
Alright, let's see what the next map is going to be. He just looks at Yaku. We're always giving Yaku crap for not making enough SCVs. He stops at 45 and that's it. From then on, that's where
I've seen that so many times in the Diamond 2 ladder. Like, work is created in a 20-minute game, it's like 54 or 57 when I'm playing as my Zerg off race. And it's like, I've got like 120 workers made because I've lost a ton to harass because I'm not very good at Zerg. But they've got like 57, and so I've eventually just managed to overrun them in the late game because they just never had enough workers.
It's definitely a difficult skill to master.
But a very important one. If you are not continuously making workers until about 66 of them, that is the very first thing you should be working on because it will immediately make you a lot better at the game.
The thing is, once you get to the 45 mark, and you're usually going to take your third base while marching out across the map, and then your attention starts to get really divided, and a lot of your production cycle doesn't really quite match up, and you really have to practice.
Out of all the things you need to be doing, making workers is priority 1. Priority 1 is making workers. Priority 2 is making army. Because you can't make an army if you don't have any money to buy it with.
Yep.
That's some Salivanth wisdom right there.
From the Master Terran himself.
Protoss.
I know. I'm just teasing. Alright, players are ready. Let's get right into it. We are on Dreamcatcher, where dreams and memes come to die.
Yeah, well, it catches them.
Tanks can do wonders as long as you got a Marina CV wall. Or they can just die to bile shots and not do anything.
And you know the drill. This is game 3, so it's on you.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to Dreamcatcher LE. LE, in case you did not know, stands for Luggage Elder. Luggage Elder. That's the suitcase that you have that's really, really old.
Sounds legit to me.
And in the northwest of this luggage are Pink Terran from Psionic Aftermath, currently sideways 1-1 in this series. Best of 3 semi-final, in fact. It is Daunted.
And in the bottom right, representing Tahaka, it is the Green Zerg. Looking to take this series in advance onto the finals, it is Darkwatch. Darkwatch going for the 17 hatch, Daunted with that SCV coming across to scout. Everything looks pretty normal so far.
Perfectly normal.
Barracks is up in a position that makes it clear that that Daunted wants to build probably a reactor out of that after the first Reaper. We'll have to wait and see how this game goes.
Kyaku is saying, look, it's Phoenix Tears 45, not Phoenix Tears sufficient work account.
Oh, God.
We
have a bunker, but...
What? I think he's pretending to be a proxy. He's pretending to have a proxy.
Yeah, it has to be pretending it. It's actually visible by Darkwatch.
Yeah.
In his vision, and Darkwatch isn't biting. But if the bunker actually goes up...
It's not biting because it doesn't have anything to bite with. He hasn't had a chance to respond. Now that the spawning pool is finished, let's see what he does.
You can always pull drones to stop it from going up. Drones can fight, you know.
Yeah, but usually, you want Zerglings to do that.
Now that Reaper has gone out, though,
he gets to cancel.
Oh my goodness! He just straight up cancels it. I think that was a mistake. I think that was a misclick.
Crap.
I've done that before. I've accidentally cancelled my own Nexus, and I wanted to die. It is the worst. And we have a road
you didn't just want to die. You died.
I just left the game. And the same thing happened to me in a tournament game once, actually in the finals of the MSO. I didn't leave that game, but I actually almost won. But if I'd been able to keep my Nexus, I think I would have won that game and gotten the game into the ace match. Very sad.
That is so...
Oh man, this is not a good way to lose game 3.
It was almost finished.
Daunted with the ultimate mind game.
Oh boy. Now, here's the thing. There's only one Reaper in that bunker, the bunker, so it's not really that scary. And there's nothing...
No, but at the same time, with those SCVs attacking...
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, the 4 roaches will come out in time to just save this hatchery, I think. Barely. The hatchery will survive, but at the same time, Darkwatch has been put really far behind.
It got delayed by a whole, like, building time of hatchery.
Yeah, got delayed by like a minute, which is really not what you want.
And it's also low on health now that it's finished, so that's
Yeah, follow-up attack could do wonders.
just this bunker. I
and
think
4 Ravagers on the way from Darkwatch. I think Darkwatch is going to want to put on some heavy counter pressure, but a second bunker up from Daunted, who already knows this is likely to come.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough. There's a bunker ready,
and a siege
second
tank.
bunker coming up just in case. A siege tank, the safety tank, should be finished just in
on
time.
the high ground. There is an Overlord here though, and if the siege tank is too close to the edge of the high ground, those Ravagers could just bile it down. So we'll have to see what Darkwatch gets done with this.
It will probably be there on the high ground, making sure there's nothing on the upper...
Look at how close that is. Oh, he backs away. He just, no, I'm not going to put it there.
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen if I don't. Oh, but because that Overlord is all the way over there, the Overlord is not... There's no way to see up the high ground of the natural ramp, which means that 2 Ravagers go down immediately, nothing really happens, and Darkwatch's counterattack is not going to work. And all of a sudden, Daunted is in a pretty commanding position in this game.
Yeah, Darkwatch lost this when he messed up the
oh, he hasn't lost it yet, but I'd say he's definitely on the back foot.
Yeah,
it's not over.
Daunted has this 2-on-1 thing so crisp that if you...
Well, this isn't a 2-on-1. He's making tanks.
Yeah,
you said he always does 2-on-1, but I haven't seen a 2-on-1 from him all game. all tournament.
Why? The previous one was 2-1-1.
No, wasn't he made Hellions?
Right.
2-on-1, you just make Marines and
Right.
2 medivacs and get them out as soon as possible.
Fair enough.
I guess he's mixing it up.
I may have miscounted when he built the barracks, though. Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, just because he's got 2 barracks in a factory doesn't mean that he's doing a 2-on-1. A 2-on-1 is a very specific type of style. And it's kind of fallen out of fashion lately. Though it is pretty effective, especially at low leagues if you've got it very crisp. Darkwatch making more ravages, mostly defensively at this point, but yeah, look at the work account. Darkwatch is really in a bad position right now, and he needs to get he needs to get something done. I'm not sure exactly what, not with these tanks and such, but Dawned is going to attack. Darkwatch needs a really good engagement. I think Dawned's going to attack here. Steam is finishing. His siege tanks are unsieged.
Ravagers are pretty good defensively as well, especially against tanks. If they have roaches around them that can buffer.
There's also just so many Marines though. They have Stim. I think he's going to attack with our +1 and combat shields when they get done. So he's probably going to attack in about a minute or so.
Yeah, and he's going to need to wait for medivacs at least. Because, you know, you don't want to lose that bio army without it.
I don't like him making the reactor on the starport. I'd like to see him do a swap on over to that barracks, and then you could get those 2 medivacs out in time for +1 on combat shields, and then go across the map with all those things finishing at once.
You definitely want the double medivac.
But
the first 2
he's just
better
going to
than
go
a couple of Marines.
I think he's just going out to defend this 3rd base that he's building. I don't think he's going to actually attack just yet.
Yeah, run away,
he's building it right here.
Don't die to rocks.
I don't think he will.
Alright.
Darkwatch sending a few roaches across the map to try and attack this 3rd base, but A, it's not down yet, and B, it's in the wrong place.
I think it's just checking.
Yeah. But he will see nothing there. And if he tries... Oh, actually, Dawned is moving out, so these roaches might see more than they bargained for. Oop, but not quite. They will
I like that command center in the middle here, just undecided on where he wants to put it.
Yeah, I think he's going to put it at the place just to the south.
It's kind of weird.
I think he's just building it there in that location for safety.
Why not just build it at home? I mean, it's actually shorter and safer.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. I think these roaches are waiting for essentially a counterattack potential once he sees Daunted move out. And he's actually sending... Oh, he's sending the Ravages. Oh, no.
If
they get caught...
the bite shot actually hit the tanks, but that's not
good
going to be enough to
but
kill
there's
them.
nowhere for the Ravagers to run, and they're all going to get cleaned up. Oh, that's a devastating blow to Darkwatch. And Darkwatch needed every unit he could muster.
If those roaches
and he's just lost a few.
At least attacked at the back, that could have been something, but they
and he's backing away with them. Dawned's push is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and look at the worker supply. He's already behind.
Look at the tank count. He just got so many of them. There's a lot of roaches for Darkwatch, and I think they have speed, and they'll have +1, so that's good. But these tanks, if they're in a good position, they would just shred these roaches.
Yeah, and the thing about Dreamcatcher is there are a lot of good positions for tanks.
That is true. There is a lot of good positions on Dreamcatcher for tanks. It's a very good map for Terran. That may be Dawned's saving grace. Is he going to try and sneak through these rocks? Because if he does, he will find that's not a good thing, but he is going to break down the rocks instead.
Darkwatch sees this coming, and there's this scan, so he knows where Darkwatch's army is.
Yeah, he does.
And he's, I'm guessing he always gonna want to prevent Darkwatch from setting up a 4th base.
Yeah, and I think he will succeed. I think this army is just so powerful. So many Stin Marines, these Roach Ravagers. Oh, good bile! Oh my god, those biles!
No dodges from Daunted. It's just running through those.
Some of the best biles he could get. That's what he needs. His tanks are not sieged up. This could be the fight that Darkwatch was wanting. Actually, and will it be? Even then, it's not enough.
That the tanks aren't sieged up until the.
That was the best fight Darkwatch could have ever gotten, and it still was not sufficient as Dawned just powers on through, and he will take this game and go to the finals of the STO number 41.
Yeah, that's going to steam away here, and there's enough medivacs. Doesn't even need the tanks now. He's bringing them in, and yeah, Darkwatch just doesn't have enough. He's making 13 roaches, which could clean this up with spine maybe, but nah, there's too much damage done. And Daunted is our first finalist for today.
It's a tragic way to lose a match.
That's his first time
lose to that
in the
fake
finals.
bunker. Okay, so we will see I Only versus Saxy Puskas.
Yeah, Saxy.
In the second semi-finals.
Saxy, the defending, current reigning SDO champion.
Versus I Only SC, the two-time previous SDO champion. With 40 tournaments, we've got a lot of champions, and a lot of them are regulars.
Yeah, that's what you do. Some of them get promoted out. Some of them stick around.
Like Ryuchi and myself. And Blisk. Lumia.
Yeah.
Wasn't Lumia the very first champion?
Yeah, it was the very first as well, yeah.
I told Lumia the other day that we've been actually playing against each other in tournaments for almost a year. And he was very surprised, but it was true. Because this is the 41st SDO. It's been going pretty much every week. So that's 41 weeks, and we played in like the 5th one.
Yeah.
That's like 9 months. And I played in the very first Master Swan Open, and there's been 7 of them now, and it's a monthly thing, so I've been Masters for like 7 months.
Yeah.
So is Lumia. We fought there a few times.
Yeah. There's and that's one of the disadvantages of having like only one Masters tournament every month. Which is all we can, really muster.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. Let's see.
So we will have Puskas versus I Only SC, or Reformed. Invite me. As the second semi-finals to see who will go up to face it Daunted in
Why is it not
the finals.
You're not.
And I believe the finals of the SDO is a best of 5, correct? With a
yeah.
And with no advantage because this is a single elimination tournament. No double E limit tonight.
Yep. Nope. This is a single elimination. I really like the turnout today. Some nice
yeah,
players.
It was good.
We do have what is it?
Reminds you of the Master Swan Open last week. You got so many former champions. You got so many good players. Like I went through.
It was a whole championship rematch thingy.
I went through a former champion, and then I faced Lumia, and then I faced another former champion, and then I faced the original former champion again, and I was like, this is so unfair. I got the worst bracket, and then I looked at the other side of the bracket, and it was just as good. It was not. It was. I kind of like to see a champion of champions MSO, but then I realized I don't want that because I'm probably the weakest MSO champion. Or at least, at least I know I'm down there.
Considering the player that won the actual number 7 tournament is a diamond player.
He beat Emin in PVT and wait, no, he was a TVT, wasn't it?
No, Portas versus Terran.
Yeah, well, you go. He beat Emin, and Chelch beat Emin in a PVT, and that's something I've never managed.
Yeah,
well, I took him 1 game off Emin.
Twice he beat him. In the winners final and in the actual grand final.
I think I'm like 1-5 against Emin lifetime.
Emin is a pretty damn good unit.
Yeah, I took a single game off him in MSO 2 in the finals there when he beat me 3-1.
Right, let's
and that was me in top form. I'm probably worse now than I was then.
Right, so this is the second semi-final.
With University, I've not had much time to play, though I do graduate in 2 weeks, so hopefully I can play some more StarCraft after that while I do the job search.
Ah, yeah, that's fun. I just started work yesterday, so it's I don't envy you right now.
You'll have to tell me what you do after the introductions and such are done. All right, welcome to Lost and Found LE. LE in this stands for Live Eternally, which is essentially a life goal of mine. So far, so good. Haven't died yet.
Oh, so I thought live like live. L-E-A-V-E.
No, live eternally.
Like, live eternally.
Live as in life.
Get out of here and don't come back. Okay.
That's what I'm going to be telling the uni in 2 weeks. Leave eternally.
No, you are going to be living eternally.
So, in the top right, the blue Protoss, representing Puskas, And representing Team Valerian Minsk, it is the Blue Protoss Puskas. You were taking too long. Had to go with it.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map are Red Terran and actually they're both former SDO champions. Give it up for Reformed Eye Only.
Who will win the Clash of the Clanless? Who will be the leader of the Lone Wolves?
I don't actually.
You like
wait.
alliteration, right?
Pushkas? I did. Just thinking, I want to make sure that Pushkas is in fact teamless, because sometimes players have their team tags in different places.
So we do have the core coming up before the Nexus for Puskas, which often indicates something interesting coming out.
Yeah. There's a pretty. I think this looks like the same thing Nemesis was doing. I think it's at different
Seriously,
timings.
why are all these Protoss just doing this? I must know. I've never really seen it work too well in action.
I don't know.
Obviously, it must be something very popular with it.
Maybe Saxi is a little more adept at it. Get it? Because
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see how this works. I want to see. Oh, we do have. Oh, we got the double proxy robo. That's what this is. It is cheese o'clock. I love this build.
Yeah.
It's an old mainstay of mine.
It's a double robo.
The double proxy robo. I should have done that against Demon. What was I thinking?
Yeah. What were
Oh,
you
that's right.
thinking?
I was on Central. That's why. You can't really micro too well with that, but that's not going to stop Puskas. Apparently, he's going to go for it anyway. And he's an Australian, so I guess he's just sort of putting me to shame right now. He's got the guts to go for it. Let's see if it works.
Nemesis is saying L is laughing edition or laughing elephant. That's
I like laughing edition. We like to laugh. Reaper gets the scout off, sees nothing. So
yeah, it's starting to suspect.
Doesn't know exactly what's going on, but knows it's a proxy and a cheese of some kind. The SCV's heading out to scout, but it's heading in the wrong direction. It's looking for a proxy Stargate, which is the more common build, whereas these two Immortals are going to be knocking on the front door.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Immortals are not very polite. When they knock on doors, they knock loud. They have a tendency to break doors down, actually.
I think I only needs to hope that Saxi is going to get the Warpism and then not be able to micro it well because of ping. Because otherwise this is going to be rough.
Reformed has caught Puskas has caught Reformed completely by surprise because Reformed is making Cyclones. Those are really good against Stargate proxies, but really bad against Immortal proxies. So we are gonna have two bunkers up, but there's only gonna be a few Marines and a Cyclone or two, and those are not the. Oh, if he just runs straight past those bunkers, that might have been devastating. But he's choosing not to. He's gonna use the Adept to get that high ground vision.
Yeah.
And
not even the Adept, just the shade. Just the tip.
He's not gonna destroy it.
Just the tip of the Adept.
Bunker gets salvaged.
Yeah, there goes one bunker. Other one
so
is.
He's gonna have a lot of Cyclones, but ooh, the Cyclones could get the. Yeah, they get a lot of damage on this one.
He gets a scan just to make sure they get a bit of extra damage, but it doesn't actually take damage, only shield damage.
So I guess maybe not the best of scans, but time is not on Puska's side. He really needs to be getting some damage done.
He's going to get
killing depots is nice, but it's not quite what he needs.
Yeah, and it just
barrier goes down for one of those Immortals.
I think he's just now starting to realize.
Wait, what's this? He's getting a Robo Bay. He's going into Disruptors. I've never seen this as a follow-up before. That is insane. Puskas is an absolute madman.
Is there a chance that he's going Colossus and going to try and use this cliff?
He might go for one Colossus, I guess.
Because what are you going to do with Disruptors? They just
he's expanding. So I guess he just wants to expand and go into, I wouldn't say a normal game, but a macro game. And this Immortal is so close to dying.
Yeah,
Bunker does not go down. Yeah, and Puska's gonna have to back away.
I only still really can't move down this ramp. Oh, it's going to Cyclone drop as a retaliation. I like it.
And you see, you asked, what can you do with Disruptors to break the ramp? The answer is you can't. But what you can do is you can wait for Reform to try and take a natural base, and then use those Disruptors to kill his stuff. But if you've got no units at home, tell me, does a mineral line full of probes beat 2 cyclones and a medivac?
No.
That's what I thought. Just wanted to check, make sure things hadn't changed since I haven't played this game in a week or two.
I mean, you're Portus, you can warp things at home.
That's true. He does have 3 warp gates now, but this is going to do a lot of damage in the meantime.
Yeah, that's...
He's pulling the workers, and
five
just
probes,
not
gonna
too
get
much.
7 probes, gonna get us an 8, gonna get a 9, it's 9, it's 9, it's gonna get 11, it's doubling down, it's 13, we get 15, we're gonna go to 15, trying to use the disruptors at the front, but it gets 1 cyclone, but there's, that is it.
The economy is
lose the,
decimated for Puskas. Puskas does have 2 bases, whereas
lost the
Reformed
cyclones.
has got 2 command centers, but he's going out with these SCVs and such. How will it Oh no!
Disruptor shots!
Oh my god!
That was only 3.
Oh.
That was 3 workers. Okay.
Terrence,
that
cover
was
your eyes! You don't want to see
But
this.
here's the thing, I only can afford to lose these workers. He's still hiding workers after losing all of these.
Yeah, but with all of those units dead, with another shot, he can just go up the ramp with his immortals now. This Liberator is strong, but it's not strong enough.
It's going to be strong enough to cover this entrance along with the tank and the Viking.
No, but if this Warp Prism just goes around and attacks that tank, there'll be nothing that Reformed can do. But I don't think Puskins knows.
This SCV has been here for all the entire game, pretty much.
Oh my god, those disruptors were actually an amazing choice. But Puskas is still behind. Puskas still needs to get some damage done with these disruptors.
Yeah, now that the Liberator
went
gets
too far
disrupted.
forward. Rest in peace.
Pieces.
If he just did a yes, rest in pieces.
What were you saying?
Ooh, if he did an immortal drop onto these tanks at the high ground, I think that could do a lot of damage right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised because the one huge advantage of having that Warp Prism is that you can just drop Immortals where the Terran army isn't protecting, but there's a lot of tanks here. Oh, he's sending another Medivac for counterattack.
Yeah, these disruptors are going to do. This is a very well placed Liberator.
Yep.
But the Warp Prism can get around that, but he's choosing not to do that. This is a very weird game, but I love it. More and more Immortals being made.
I suppose he could drop the...
He's trying to drop some Stalkers, but I actually think that's the least... That's the worst
No,
unit.
I think you want to drop them here next to the Liberator, trying to force it to move out.
Or you could drop the Immortals on the high ground, or drop the Disruptors in the mineral lines. There's really a lot of choices, but 3 Stalkers just aren't going to get a ton of damage done.
Yeah, it's going to be rough either way.
Although, there's nothing there to defend it. Although, just imagine if those were 2 Disruptors.
Oh,
Could you imagine that?
If he goes into the natural to defend the drop.
He has to, yeah. But in the meantime, these 3 SCVs do get some damage done. They do get 5 SCVs. Do I hear 6? Nope, he's just going to back away. But unlike the Cyclones, these Stalkers do stay alive. So, I'd say Reformed is still ahead, but not by a ton. He does have 4 tanks and a Liberator, though. So he's going to do some devastating damage. Yeah, there goes the tech, which was very important. Puskas needs another Robo. He needs it at home.
Now, let's see. I only can actually go into...
Puskas has like a ton of Immortals and only 1 Disruptor against 2 Liberators. I think if this gets across the map, I think this is going to be really, really bad for Puskas.
Yeah,
these tank Liberator pushes...
There's not a lot of buffer for the Portus army here.
These tank Liberator pushes are actually the big weakness of Robo-based styles. And normally you have a lot more like Charge Lots and Stalkers with this force.
Yeah. Now he's warping some more in, so it's getting better. But
yeah, it is.
That's nice.
And
don't go into this trench. Do not. Do not.
This is actually a really good position from Puskas if he doesn't go in. He needs to keep the Terran here for as long as possible. These Liberators can inch forward, cover that trench, and that's exactly what they're going to do, but he wants to slow them down. Oh, actually, they're in hold position, they're not moving, and they have to move away. Yep, they do. And the Stim Marines are pushing forward, and actually there's really just only Immortals and Stalkers here. There are no shield batteries, and everything is going to die.
Yeah.
And that is why you really need all of these units to defend against this. This is just a great counterattack, great hold.
It doesn't even need attacks.
Puskas does GG. Might have been able to win that if he played it just a little bit differently. Those disruptors actually really did pay off for him, but he needed to follow that up, and he needed to follow it up straight away.
Yeah, but once the Terran is able to set up a second base, you're in trouble, especially after you lost 13 probes at home.
Yeah, that's very much true, but I still think he could have won that if he'd done like a clever drop with the Warp Prism or something after he'd taken out most of the army with the disruptors.
Yeah.
I think he might have taken that.
Yeah, no, I think.
But again, that's StarCraft. I'm not going. Obviously, Reform deserved the win. In the end, what it comes down to is there's always things you can do differently in a game of StarCraft, and it's very easy for me to see that when I'm not the one in the trenches. Though at least I do compete as well, so I do feel somewhat qualified to talk on this kind of thing. I've won, I've lost.
I only definitely played it patiently and carefully, and did the right thing there.
Yeah, Reformed played it very well, I'd say.
Not pushing too fast, and making sure that when he pushed, he was very careful not to move into a disadvantageous position.
So if Reformed wins this game, he'll go to the finals to face Daunted. I'm afraid I do have to cheer for Puskas just because I would like to see a PVT finals.
Not because he's Australian by any chance.
Oh, that too. I had forgotten about that. I'm not really a super nationalistic person, but yeah, I should cheer for my fellow Australian Protoss. There aren't that many of us, really.
Look at that! He won on low ping.
Pardon?
No, sorry, he lost on low ping. So you need to be what's the word I'm looking for? You have like empathy for what he's going through.
Yeah. Yes, I very much do. Yeah, it's difficult to get good micro with that prism, with that kind of ping going on.
Yeah, it looks like Puskas is...
The funny part is, I'm so used to playing on West US that if I don't play on Australia for a while, it feels too reactive when I play on it. It's like driving a car that's too fast.
Yeah, that's
you push on the accelerator and suddenly it just zooms back. So I've started playing on best match on the ladder, so I get Australian games as well as US West games. I'm starting to get used to it again.
Yeah, that's exactly what Lumia said when he was when he visited Korea. He played on the KR server in the PC bangs.
Yeah, and he had like
and you have like
2 ms of latency or something.
Yeah, he says it's 4 milliseconds.
Yeah,
thing. And like I don't know what to do with this. I'm not used to this.
Too much.
Because when you play on that short of a latency, there's so much more control potential that you can do, but you have to practice as your fingers aren't used to making those decisions fast enough.
Exactly.
Right, everyone's ready. Let's.
And of course, your opponent has that ping, and they're used to it, and they're happy to use it to its full potential.
Yeah. All right. He did make it all the way to Diamond 1, I think.
Oh, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
Diamond 1 in Korea is no joke. They go hard over there. Alright, welcome to Blue Shift LE, where LE in this case is lying egregiously. Which is what I do when someone asks me, hey, have you been studying tonight?
Have you been studying tonight, Salivanth?
Yes, all the time. I'm studying right now.
Fair enough, I believe you.
Excellent. In the bottom left, representing blue Terrans everywhere, representing top hats, it is Reformed Eye Only, going for a gas first.
And in the northeast corner of the map, he is a red Protoss known as Saxi. He is the reigning champion of SDO at the moment, trying to keep his crown intact. Pushkas.
Alright, so it looks like Pushka's going for a fairly standard opening so far this time around, although it looked that way earlier as well, and we saw how that ended up.
Yeah.
Going for a scout after Gateway, which is pretty normal. In this case, there is no second gas on the way. There is no... They're just rallying one to the gas, rallying the next probe down to the natural. I'd say this is going to be just a one gate expand, which is the normal way to open PVT. Getting a little bit of harassment done but the SCV is pulled to fend that off. Everything looking completely normal so far.
Yeah,
It does get a bit of a cheeky
You
hit.
don't mess with the SCV Union. Don't do that.
That's a war crime right there. And yet, pretty much every StarCraft player does it, going after the civilians.
So they always
have
go
laws
after the
against these
unions. They
things.
always go after the unions.
We need the Kapulu Convention. Geneva is not a part of the Kapulu sector, and thus the Geneva Convention does not apply.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Earth UAD, the thingy. What is United Earth Defense Forces?
Yeah,
thing?
the United Earth Directorate.
Yeah.
But they came from Earth.
Yeah, so
which means they came from Earth to somewhere else.
They're bound to the Geneva Convention, don't they?
And they lost. What does that tell you?
That's
why they lost.
Well, they
Young
actually
old.
didn't abide to the Geneva Convention. They actually tried to use the Zerg and stuff and do all kinds of really shady shit. All right.
Let me tell you, where in the Geneva Convention does it say you're not allowed to forcibly mind control Zerg? Yeah. That's because there is no rules.
I think there are rules regarding biological weapons, though, right? Huh?
I suppose the Zerg do count as a biological weapon. You're right, you got me. I concede. Well played, Steelmold, you win this round.
Yes! I won something in life.
Always nice. And this probe is going to go after this SCV, is going to force it off the line, maybe even cancel it, and
that's
so
5
close.
health points, one shot.
Yep. But it does delay that. It does delay that command center by a fair bit.
It's actually still
But the probe will go down. We formed. Puska's not paying attention to it, and we are going to see Hellions and a starport. So it looks like we're going to see a Hellion drop coming out of Reformed. So we'll have to see where these next two gates come down. Blink on the way, which is good. If these next two gates come down to make a sort of wall, that'll also be really good
The
for
Reaper
Puskas.
died, actually. Was that a probes around, I'm assuming?
I'm not sure, I wasn't watching.
Yeah, so I think it was a probes around.
The Adept is coming across to get some scouting, so the Adept will scout the Hellions.
I'm going to try and
but
find
it's actually
out...
not shaded, so might get hunted down a bit. Actually, the Adept's pretty good against Hellions, so I think the Adept will do just fine against them. Will it kill a Hellion? That would be really strong, because every Hellion is so important with a Hellion-focused build like this, but just gets it. We'll need to repair those
I'm
Hellions
busy.
before
I'm not
setting
even
them out.
looking at this. I'm just trying to find out which worker killed the Reaper.
Alright, well, I'll take on the roll for now.
It's a bit of a radio cast. Okay, so a Hellion does manage to survive.
We're going to see 2 Hellions and 2 Cyclones, but these Hellions definitely need to be repaired.
Yeah.
A 2 HP Hellion is not going to do well.
Not against Stalkers, anyway.
Even against probes, like the these Stalkers are going to take out this Hellion. Oh, that's really good. Oh, but it survives too. And it finally goes down. I'm going to say these Hellions 9 lives, but these 2 Stalkers are on the way. Blink is nearly done, so I think with the 3 Stalkers and 3 Blink Stalkers, he will be okay.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not. That's 2 Cyclones. They do a lot of damage, but these shield batteries need to finish, and they don't. And Blink is not yet
without
done.
The shield batteries,
this
that's
could be
really dangerous.
but
Okay,
the
one
shield battery is
finishes.
done.
There we go. Ionade really needs to back off. He can't really fight this.
That's right, and Puskas will be okay. We're gonna try and get some scouting done with this Viking, maybe even land it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a landed Viking again. That's exactly what he did against Nemesis.
And will the probes get pulled? It doesn't look like it. They're gonna get some more damage done yet again. Both
they can actually
Cyclones will go down,
surround
but
the Vikings, but they don't.
No, that's not a good idea. The Viking will just get another couple of probes and then lift off.
Oh, but there's no focus fire. You can get another probe. You get 6.
Yeah, 6 is still very good for a Viking.
Yeah.
And 4th and 5th gates go down as well as a robo. So Puskas is preparing to play defensively. But I'd like to see a 3rd base coming out of Puskas pretty soon.
I like that,
as well as
Puskas has this spotter pylon and gateways. Just to counter drops, and then you have this Viking coming in straight on, just, you know.
If you take a look at this, Reform doesn't actually have that many units, and there's a bunch of Blink Stalkers on the way. They could get some serious damage done.
There's a bunker, he has Marines coming out, he has Medivacs about to finish,
he does.
Steam is about to finish.
Even so, I think he's going to get some pretty decent damage done. He can just snipe a bunch of these units if he has good blink control, which he seems to.
Yeah. It's definitely.
Oh, will this bunker go down? Yeah. Oh my god, that's so close. He just prepares it in time. But now he's going to start sniping these SCVs and Marines one by one. This is what the Blink Stalkers are good at. Good blink, just at the right time.
Yeah, this is...
Even with this... Even with the ping, he's doing really well with these Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, this is really good because...
Oh, and these... The Widow Mines... Oh, one of the Widow Mines does get...
Oh, nice blink out.
Beautiful control by Puskas. He's doing extremely well. He's taking out so many workers, so many Marines.
Only
he's in a
2 stalkers
really
so far,
great
by the way.
position right now. Yeah, and he's just done really well. A lot of them are so badly injured, but his own needs to blink them away, and he does.
The main thing that happened here
I think
is that Pushkas prevented I Only from actually pushing out.
And also he hasn't taken a third base. While the third base is done for Puskas, he's getting double forge, he's getting charge, he's getting all the stuff he needs. Puskas is in a great position right now.
Yeah, that big push as a Terran that you are counting on, so that you can expand while it's going on, and then have that huge clump of Steam Marines with medevacs. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
Pushkas.
That's right.
And Pushkas didn't actually lose all that much for it. He lost 4 stalkers. That was it.
Yeah, he traded very well. Would have been even nicer if he'd left a little bit earlier, but hey, nobody's perfect, and he's going out again, Puskas is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this, though. Combat Shields is finishing for the Terran.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a...
Maybe going out with the...
There's a Sentry in
he's not going out.
So...
He's not moving out, he's just protecting that ramp.
In
case
he's
the
getting charge
Terran tries to go up it.
Zealots do have charge, so...
Yeah.
No, he has a good vision over Ioni's army, sees the move out.
Alright, so the key here is, there is no third base on the way for Reformed. There is a Templar Archives and +1/+1 on the way for Puskas. So really, Reformed needs to get something done pretty much right now. But with these sentries, with these stalkers, if Puskas tries to go up this, if Reformed tries to go up this ramp, it's going to be really nasty. Look at that spread. That is so good. Force fields
going straight in.
No. Bad force fields, unfortunately, but a medivac will get sniped, and he will slow this down. He is getting more charge odds. He's getting +1/+1. Reformed starting to move up the ramp. This is going to be a close battle, but it will determine essentially who wins this game. That's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot of Marauders. Charge odds starting to come through. He should fight his shield batteries. He shouldn't be fighting here. He needs that time. He needs +1/+1 to finish, and I think he might be fighting at just the wrong angle, just the wrong time.
Yeah.
The shield batteries are not able to protect him. The charge dots are not fighting. The charge dots are now fighting. He's starting to fend it back. The Widow Mines are mostly disengaging on his own army. He's got an immortal. The immortal goes down so quickly. There's so much fire, but it's so weak. He just manages to pull back. Will he manage to defend? He's making 5 charge dots. This is going to be so close.
Yeah,
Gateway is
the
Widow Mines aren't growing, and I think Puskas has held this off.
Yeah, looks like it.
Just.
Be careful, Widow Mines!
Oh my god, that was
at least it prevents Puskas from actually chasing Ioni's army, and Ioni is still marching out across the map. Yeah, he's going to keep pushing.
He's still moving out as he should be.
Look at these medivacs.
He needs more units. He's making zealots.
He can't even heal himself.
He's making stalkers. Oh no, he doesn't blink in time. And he... Oh no. And
that was on the second one, but that's...
No, he'd used the blink for the second one.
That's
and
pretty
he's got an immortal, but he's only got 1 immortal. I think this is actually going to be all she wrote.
I think
these charge lots going to get sniped out.
Yeah.
More charge lots on the way, but there's just so few units.
Yeah,
Tries for the force field, doesn't get it. Snipes a Marine. Making more and more immortals. These gateways aren't going to finish.
No, he's just, dives on the workers, figures out,
he's going to get a lot of workers. There is a third base up now that he's taken in the meantime. And I think that it loses quite a few units.
Don't let it... it was a great choke. The Widow Mines would be so good over there.
Yeah, but I think in the end...
job here, but...
Reformed has done what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Reformed has gotten a good economic lead, good army lead, and taken his third base. Reformed is in a commanding position right now, but Storm is done, and the High Templars are on their way.
And they are going into Archons, so they're not confused.
Well, Reformed presumably believes he needs the Archons right now because he's expecting a follow-up attack, but I don't like that. I think that without Storm, he's going to lose this game eventually anyway. He needs those Storms to start building up really quickly. But Reformed is coming out again, so these Archons are going to be important in the defense, but he needs Storm. There is no Ghost Academy on the way.
Reformed is taking a 4th base though, so he's going to make use of the fact that he pushed Pushkas back, and also traded pretty well in that previous fight.
Making more High Templar. We will see how this fight goes. There aren't really many charge lots here. There are Archons, Immortals, Blinkstalkers. He's pulling probes, not a good idea. Needs to pull some of those probes back.
I only needs to push this.
One Archon goes down.
Oh,
and so does a second one. Oh my god, this is so good for I only, but all of this bio is so low, I'd like to see him retreat.
Oh, he's moving into the Widow Mines again.
Good splits on the Widow Mines.
That was pretty good.
But
that was all the Zealots.
Yeah.
And Pushkas,
the Zealots,
workers is just so behind economically.
The Zealots are there to die, and thing is, with right now with the economies the way they are, an even trade is a good trade for Reformed. He's just going to keep trading over and over and prevent that army from getting too big.
Look at the production tab. This is
exactly. We got another starport. We got ranged libs on the way. We got
Fusion
3 ghosts in the meantime. Puskas is making barely nothing. He's actually pushing across the map because he feels like he has to be.
Please don't.
And he's right.
Battle cruisers.
But he needs to wait for these High Templar. These High Templar are going to have energy at just the right moment, just before the ghosts are coming out. If he gets great storms, Puska might win this, but I don't like his chances. He needs the best storms of his life if he wants to take this game.
I mean, he's up on upgrades, but I only has almost double army supply.
Yeah, and both sides. Actually, a 4th is already done for Reformed. I just don't see Puska's winning this.
Done and mining. Puska's only now started a 4th base. It's just...
It's such a tough position. With these ghosts, if without the storms, this army will just melt from Puska's. Puska's has to get these storms to land and has to make them... He has to bathe the Marines in a bath.
Yeah, but he can't really do that because the Widow Mine placement is good by I only so far. And he keeps baiting
Pushkas
into Widow
Mines. Storms, but
he gets a little too
the EMP does not go off. A ghost dies.
I heard. Everyone heard. I think people on other planets heard. They scream so loudly when they die.
And here we go. The Liberator doing a lot of damage, backing away. Oh, the EMP goes off, but there's still some storms, but that storm isn't as good as he wants. Oh, but the retreating storm. But it's just not quite good enough. Under any other circumstances, I would say those storms were amazing. But right now, they're just not good enough.
They didn't actually kill the army, though.
Puskas does have a 4th base established, and he's getting 3-3. Yeah, but both sides are getting 3-3.
It's just so ahead economically.
I know, Puskas is hanging by a thread.
And I think with the Liberator, he's starting Liberator range just now. Which is why I got that fusion core. Thank God! That's why I got the fusion core.
The only thing what we can say is, Puskas is not further behind than he was 3 or 4 minutes ago.
He's starting to recover, and I think... Oh, there we go.
If he can max out, the Zealot run by. Right.
This is what you need to do as a Protoss. While the army is busy,
could be so effective.
Try to get these little guns. It's so cheap compared to what it can actually achieve.
Good feedback. And the Zealots are starting to get some damage done, and they are taking out quite a lot of SCVs and denying a lot of mining time. That's exactly the kind of lead Puskas needs, and Puskas should back away now. Puskas should not attack this.
No,
he's done enough damage. Oh, but he's going to try for it anyway. He's going to try and get into a good position.
Well, he's using the fact that the army is out of position. It's not prepared. Well, but the ghosts are at the front.
To back away, the position is there now. Get some good retreating storms if you can. EMPs go off on the army, but not on the storms. So... he uses a storm to cover his retreat, and Puska's he's still behind, but he's a lot less behind than he was a minute ago.
Yeah, but still...
5th base nearly done for Reformed.
3-3 is about to finish for only, and Pushkas as well.
Yeah, both players.
They are going to be started.
Oh, don't attack this.
Oh. Okay,
Storms in the back. Pushkas is being more aggressive than he needs to be, I'd say.
Oh, he's dropping.
Oh, that mini-back tries to get the ghost, but doesn't quite work, and a good storm. But is it enough? This attack, I don't like it for Pushkas. He doesn't have any storms left.
I only can't heal. The medivacs are completely depleted. But
yeah, but it doesn't matter.
He has enough firepower. Look at this. This is all
More
oversteamed.
Archons on the way. There's going to be 6 Archons.
Well,
and a
it's
Colossus,
going into
but I just
shield
don't see it being
batteries.
enough.
And these are
Oh, here it
pretty
comes.
beefy Protoss.
Actually, yeah.
I think Pushkas can actually do this.
I don't know. It's so close. Actually, this is not a good fight for Reformed.
But
can he do it?
He can just about make it. It just about makes it, and that's it.
Yeah, with another wave of charge lots, he could win this.
That was...
Wow, both...
Look at what's remaining for the Terran
what?
army here.
GG? Puskers, you were just getting back into the game. You could have sacrificed that base, maybe fought back.
Nah. Nah. It takes too long to build the Protoss heavy units. And Terran, as you saw, already has an army prepared to replace that one.
No, I still think he was in a worse position a few minutes ago than he was when he GG'd.
Yeah. But yeah, there you have it. Reformed,
Reformed will take it.
Is our second semi-final, second finalist for today. Which will go up against Daunted. We are going to take a little break before the final, and we will be back in a few minutes. Do not go anywhere, because I will not forgive you.